Good morning. My name is Tina Mitchell, your local mortgage expert and your host of Coffee with a Superstar. My show is with real estate agents for real estate agents. I interview the best of the best in the industry so you can hear what they're doing and how they're doing it. Each week I travel to my superstar's office to invite you behind the scenes of their business. And I'm very excited and such an honor to have my superstar this morning, Leslie. Leslie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and a little bit about, it's going to be lots of fun. A little bit about Leslie. Leslie McFadden is with Real Living Northwest Realtors in Bothell. Leslie is an Austin, Texas native where she attended Texas State University and served as a logistics specialist in the U.S. Army. After her military service, she spent 9 years in corporate interior design and sales, both fields where customer service was an absolute top priority. Now, Leslie began her real estate career just in 2005, where she built her success on the principles she learned from her experience, then grew it onto a foundation of successful clients, satisfied clients, and referrals. Along with her husband, Kevin, she managed a real estate team of 5 in Columbus, Ohio, one of the fastest growing real estate markets in the Midwest. And then just in 2016, they made the decision to expand their business by entering the greater Seattle market by recruiting a partner to handle their Ohio client base that they have been able to capitalize in both cities. And now they currently live in Bothell, truly enjoying the Northwest communities to the fullest. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to have Leslie as a superstar, she does a lot of business in our local market, but another reason is because of exactly what was in her bio. The move that they made from Ohio, where she was a very, very successful real estate agent. What's the last number of transactions that you closed the last year?
So our last year we had 49 transactions.
So 49 transactions. Now I want you to listen to this because we could have new real estate agents that are listening to the show today. We could have experienced real estate agents, meaning doing business in our local market for an extended period of time, but just not getting the business that you want. And here my superstar today was closing over 40 transactions the last year that she, wow, that was in, I needed to turn my phone off. Love Facebook Live.
I turned my phone off.
Yeah, at least one of us is paying attention to what we need to do. And in 2016 to come and duplicate what she did in the Ohio market. And so a very unique superstar today because of that reason, Leslie. And I just really appreciate you taking time.
It's a fun story.
Yeah. So let's start out with that story.
All right. Well, it's just funny because I met my husband. I was his realtor, and he is originally from here. So after we raised our children, we just decided we wanted to move where we wanted to be. So we were both in Ohio for different reasons, and so that was what we did. And everyone thought we were crazy because we didn't have jobs.
Yeah.
Moving out here, I didn't know anyone. Yeah, but it has been, I don't know, he and I are just that type of person. Like we feed off of each other and we strengthen each other. And so it just didn't seem like that big of a deal.
Yeah. And so I always ask my superstar, what do you credit your success to? And I want to ask you that question, but to make it a little more tailored and unique to why you are such a superstar in our market, to be so successful and then to leave that and take that risk. As you said, how did you make it so successful? I mean, you just got here in 2016. And so how did you become so successful in this market after a short period of time? And what do you credit your success to in your Ohio market as well?
Well, I think in Ohio, I'm a major networker.
Yes.
And I know how to do it because I practice it. So definitely in Ohio, it was our network of people that we knew. But as a realtor, you become very attached to your client base. So leaving it was very difficult. And so we just, interviewed a number of realtors that I was already colleagues with, and we told all of our customers why we were moving, and things like that, so that everyone could latch onto the idea of being happy for us when we go, but still making my phone ring if they needed anything.
Of course.
So I think part of the success was the residual that Ohio did give us. And I always say that, I always want to say thank you to Ohio
yes.
For doing that. But it was funny because the first year I closed 3 by myself and then had 12 referrals and then closed 8 Washington. And so it was weird to look at your numbers in that way.
Yes. Yeah.
So definitely networks and making sure that you set people up to know what to expect.
Yes. And so no matter what market you're in, if you're successful in one market because there's a lot of different ways to generate business, and Leslie credits her success to networking. And I've had the privilege to be side by side with her and see her in action with networking. And so it takes a really special person or a special personality to be able to make that work, because you may be listening today and going, oh gosh, network really is not for me. Then find another way to generate business. But if you like meeting new people, you like about talking about your business, you're confident about how you talk about your business, Leslie has proven that it is a very, very successful way to be able to build a very profitable business
Well, I think
model.
it's because I don't like to network. So,
And that's interesting.
I had to come
I've
up with a
never
way
heard
of
you
doing
say
it
that.
to
That's
make me
interesting.
feel like I wasn't being that salesperson that worked a room, because
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be that person.
Yeah.
So it's so funny because in the last couple of years, I've had a little free time between clients. And so I decided to get my clock hour certification. So a class that I want to teach is called Choose Your Business. And I go through exactly how to network in that class. So I'm kind of excited for that new chapter also. So,
and we'll give a shout out to Natalie Danielson. Natalie, hi, if you're watching Coffee with a Superstar.
Love you.
Love you too. And I want to thank Leslie, because Leslie actually introduced me to Natalie, and my One Time Your Business 8-week burn, which Victoria is going to post on here, is 15 clock hour certified. So Leslie, thank you so much for that connection.
You're very welcome.
Natalie, thank you for getting me hooked up there. And if you're a real estate agent and you want to look at how to connect with other real estate agents, Victoria will post on this post contact information to get in contact with Natalie. We'll post her website so that you can look at how and getting clock hours yourself, because you're hearing from one of the best that they do that. So love that, Leslie. So let's talk about a challenge that you've had to deal with in the recent or not, and what did you learn from that and overcome it?
I read that question because she gives you a list of questions to get ready for this. I read that question, and I have to say the challenge is still moving your business to a different state where you know no one.
Yes,
so
that's a
I
big
was like,
challenge.
instead of picking another one, I think I'll just stick with that.
Perfect.
But yeah, so just being able to get the right people in line and bridge that. But the big challenge that's kind of a sub of that is you have to realize that the previous state, Ohio, is going to die off, right? Like
of course.
Because I'm not actively there, being in their community and networking. I did actually just get a phone call from someone in 2007, so it still does happen.
Yes.
But it's going to peter off. So knowing that up front, and then knowing that you need to build back in, with the new Washington stuff, it's kind of fun to watch. Our designated broker, Keoki McCarthy, says that I should have written all this down, but
yeah. Well, you could probably go back.
I know, I could probably go back and
when
write it.
you're working on some really great stuff and sharing kind of your success. Yes.
Yes, I am. I am actually. I was inspired by a local author, maybe
I
sitting
wasn't
next to
sure
me.
she was going to mention it. Leslie is writing a book. Thank you for that shout out, Leslie.
Yes, you're welcome.
And yeah, because you have so much information to share. And so when you look back at that biggest challenge that you've had to face in your career, is there anything that you would have done differently?
Yes. I won't go into detail, but yes, there are definitely things I would have done differently.
Okay.
And it's also kind of funny because having managed a team that size, you kind of learn what you liked about it and what you didn't like about it.
Yeah.
And so when you go to build a new team, you make different decisions, and you're just a more mature business owner at that point. So that has also gone into it.
I love that. And that's why I always ask that question to my superstars, is because we all have challenges in our business, no matter what level of success that we reach. But I do believe that the best of the best embrace those challenges, opportunities, and there's always things to be able to learn and take away, correct?
Well, there's always things that are going to happen that are going to be upsetting or not perfect or what have you. And if you just kind of hit it head on and know how you're going to react to it before it happens, I think that helps.
Yeah. I would love for you to share, since we're talking about networking and has been such a huge success in your business, what is a tip that you have around networking and really being able, because I know that there's so many people that try networking and it doesn't work for them. So what would be a tip?
It's painful. I mean, it's painful to deliberately go to something and say, okay, I have to network, and that's painful. So my tip would be, when you go into any sort of networking or business association event or what have you, I always just have a goal of meeting one person and having a very good conversation. And then I will take that person's contact information and follow up with them and have coffee or lunch or what have you.
Yes.
So then it really takes a lot of pressure off of people not wanting to be sold to.
Yeah.
And it also really points out that when I said that I wanted to learn your business and help you get business, I was serious.
Yes.
So you just become very authentic, and that's who I want to be.
Yeah, and I love that. So if you heard, she's not going out and working the room, and it's not a how many people can I get business cards from, but it's strategically going into that event and wanting to meet one person, have a quality conversation, exchange business cards, set up a time to where you can actually meet outside of that networking group to get to know about each other's business, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
A lot of people network and they come home with a handful of business cards and they
Yes.
don't even remember who these people were.
Yeah.
Because they were so busy trying to network.
Yes.
And if you slow it down and just take the pressure off and, really go in saying, I want to learn something about someone in this room, it changes networking
So
for you.
maybe change the word networking to connecting. You are going to events to connect with someone else.
Yes.
And so if we
Then it
reshift
becomes exciting.
it becomes exciting, exactly. And I also want to mention, because I know what you do, because I've known you since you moved here, and I feel really blessed to have you a part of my life and part of my business. And you're very strategic on the networking groups that you go to, and you are not just randomly going. You're focused on a group, you stay with that group, you build relationships one at a time. Is that correct?
Yes, that's exactly how I do it, because I also am a business owner, and I think if you aren't focused and deliberate about something you're doing,
Yes.
then one, you need to back up and make it that way, or two, stop doing it, because
Yes.
we should all enjoy what we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So think about the groups you want to be a part of. How you can think about that is who do you want to meet? Where are they at? Leslie, being in real estate, you obviously want to be connected in your city,
Right.
because that's what real estate agents do. So
Right.
being a part of the chamber is really important, and you do a lot of things engaging within that networking organization to give back to it as well.
You have
correct?
to, because again, you don't want to come off inauthentic.
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
the word? So
Or not authentic, either way.
Whichever.
Whichever.
I just made up a new word.
I love it.
We're going to use my new word.
Love it.
And you really want, as a realtor, you really want to feel like you're connected, and you're not
Yes.
just saying that. You're not.
Yeah.
So I always go back to that word, and I don't want to come off as someone who's being fake or misconstrued. So I purposely do volunteer, and I'm an ambassador for both chambers,
Yes.
and I enjoy every second of it, and I think that comes off to the people around me. So
love that.
so I think it's really important to not be fake, and to not to kind of prove the nation wrong, that we're not all
Yes.
salespeople.
Yes.
Victoria and I were just talking before this, and she's like, it takes a certain person to be able to be in a room with a bunch of salespeople.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not all like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've done very successful in my mortgage business by networking or going to opportunities to connect with people, just as you do. So it works, and it works at a very high level, because when you're going to learn about somebody, you become friends with them, you invest time with them, and so it's a beautiful thing when you can pull that all together.
So one of your other questions you asked, where does our business come from?
Yes.
And that is another thing that I am talking about in that class.
Uh-huh.
And I always say, because everyone always says referrals.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Of course they come from referrals.
Uh-huh.
But who?
Yes. Yeah.
So I always say, well, of course you're getting referrals from past clients and personal referrals. Like that
Yes.
doesn't count.
Uh-huh.
So on top of that, you need at least 5 streams of income.
Yes.
So that
Totally
one
agree.
of them is feeding you at some point, so none of them are stressed.
Yes. Love
Right?
that.
So I have 3 business associations, chambers, or another association. And then I have my certification in relocation, and then I have internet leads.
Yes.
So on top of what you should be getting naturally,
Yes. Yes.
you need
That's
to
a good
have
one.
at least 5, in my opinion. And so that way you're just never stressed. Once something is feeding you at some
Yes,
point.
yeah, and it's so true, because I know a lot of real estate agents just focus everything that they have on their existing clientele, which you don't want to let that go, but it's icing on the cake, gravy on the mashed potatoes. But you want to have those other sources, as you hear from Leslie. It's so important. So Leslie, let's talk about outside of the networking or connecting opportunity in organizations. What else would you say is one of your favorite marketing tips that you could share with our agents that are listening to the show today?
So I do a lot of video for our listings that we sell.
Yes.
And that has become one of my favorite things that we're doing. Because you can share it on so many different social medias,
Yes.
it really helps people connect with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because especially in the organizations that I network in, they know at least 25 other realtors. So you need to give them a reason why you're different.
Yes.
And another thing that we're doing is we share happy client stories. And so
I like
it's
that,
not a
happy
big
client
sold
stories.
with my name on it, but it is, you know, my contact information is at the very bottom. But
Yeah.
it's all about celebrating that someone has a new home and they're happy about it.
Yes.
And then testimonials. So testimonials are huge.
Yeah. And, you know, sharing that success of somebody that you've helped, it is a testimonial at the highest level.
Totally.
You know,
Yeah.
so a video, did that come naturally for you, Leslie, or was it a little bit of a challenge to get started?
So I think if my husband was not on the other side of the camera,
Uh-huh.
it would not be very natural at all.
Yeah.
But he makes faces at me and, you know, makes me laugh and
A
relax.
shout out
and
to
everything.
Kevin.
Hi,
Thanks for
Kevin.
being an amazing husband and a great business partner to your wife.
Tina loves all of us.
I do. Well, very special.
So anyway, yeah, so it did not come natural to me.
Yeah.
But the more, it's funny, you said to me one time, a long time ago, it doesn't matter what you look like on video because that's what
Yeah.
you look like. So
Yes.
get over it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that helped a little bit. And, you know, you just really have to learn how to relax and really feel good about the content coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, if you're really confident about what's coming out,
Yep.
then it gets much easier.
Yeah, and that comes with preparation. It's like anything else we say. If we go into a presentation or a meeting opportunity and we are prepared with what we're going to say,
Yeah.
chances are it's going to come out a lot better than not prepared. I think people get on video and they're not prepared on what they're going to say, and then they're like, oh my gosh, that was horrendous. I'm never going to do that again. So take a step back, think about what you're going to say, follow a formula. You know, I like to use a formula of, you know, I have a targeted market. What is their challenge, their problem that they have? And so make mention of that problem. You are the solution. So always you are that solution. Talk as if you're talking to one person because people want to know that you're talking directly to them. So use you a lot in your dialogue. And then a call to action, you know, and what's the next thing that they need to do? And obviously the next thing, part of that is connecting with you so that you can provide that solution and engage with them. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you and I talk about that all the time.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah, video is so important. You have to get out there and you have to use video. And going back to testimonials as well, first impression now is online. You
Yeah.
know, we don't have as much opportunity to get that first impression. Even when somebody is introduced to you by a past client, they're going to look for you online first.
Right.
And so that's, even though they're probably not going to cancel their meeting with us, if they don't have a good first impression of you online, that is a lasting impression.
It is.
Right? So that face-to-face
Because they're
is no
immediately
longer.
like, why don't they have that?
Exactly. Yeah. So no testimonials or no reviews can be as bad as having bad ones. So you need to get yourself out there. Yeah. So Leslie, what about a call to action? A real estate agent that's listening to the show today, new or seasoned, and they want to take their business to the next level, what would be your call to action?
I think I would go with, I'm going to go a different direction. Because a lot of people say, you know, show up, treat it like a full-time job. I mean, these are all things that I think that everyone knows. But something that I do in the morning as a self-employed person is I do a lot of self-reflection and affirmations. And so every morning I focus on a lot of good that has been in my career. And I also speak to myself.
Yes.
I know that sounds really funny, but it really preps you for the day. And you know, looking into the mirror and saying I'm a realtor every single day, it just kind of preps you, and you show up in a different way. So that would be my little.
And that is great advice, Leslie, because I've heard people say before affirmations do not work, and the reality is they do work. It's how you're doing them and whether they're going to serve you at a high level or not. And here's the reality with affirmations. If you don't, an affirmation is an intentional conversation you're having with yourself. Leslie just shared, she has a very specific way, a specific time, specific words, intentionally that she has made a decision that she's going to have with herself beforehand, and she stays with it. So that's what affirmations are, an intentional conversation that you've strategically set up to get yourself into the best place. Well, here's the reality. If you do not do that, you are left to the only other affirmation we have, which are affirmations that we have every second of the day. It's the conversations we have with ourselves that are not intentional. Yeah. So if you want to be left with the subconscious, not intentional conversations, as I'm sure that you would probably agree, majority of those are not serving us because they're not positive ones, they're negative. So to offset that, having that planned out strategic conversation with yourself, and you heard Leslie say as well in the morning time, I think the way, or I know the way you start your day and end your day are the most important times of your day, because they're going to set you up for your success throughout the day, the confidence or lack of that you're going to have doing affirmations versus not. And then the bookmark of your day, or when you're getting ready to go to bed, that's how you're going to set yourself up of how well you're going to sleep and how that space is going to be for you. So it's the most critical time in your day is when you get ready.
Yeah, and I think it's very personal. I think everyone can sit back and say, get over the fact that everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people think that affirmations are silly. So just get over that, because it's not true.
Exactly.
But you know what time of day that would be helpful to you. Yes. And if you maybe just simplify it and really take some time and understand what you would need to hear on a daily basis, then it works. Yeah,
totally agree. And I think this is a good conversation to have, because so many people have different thoughts about affirmations, or maybe they've tried them and they haven't worked and they don't make them feel good. The words that you say are critically important as well, because have you ever been driving before and you tell yourself, I'm not going to be late, I'm not going to be late, I'm not going to be late, and when ends up happening, you're late majority of the time. Why? Because your brain does not understand the words that you're saying. The brain only understands the emotion behind those words. So if you're telling yourself, I'm not going to be late, I'm not going to be late, you are stressing out about the possibility to be late. So that's what you're attracting. So you need to be very careful with the words that you use. They have to be words that are authentic and real to you, that you believe. So you can't say that you am or you have before you believe that you can get there, right?
For instance, in that scenario, you could maybe in the morning look at yourself in the mirror and say, I care about the people I network with, and I don't want to be that person who's late.
Yes.
If you just said that every morning, wouldn't that be a different way of looking
100%.
at it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Love that.
Positivity is strong.
Yeah. Positivity is so strong. And you'll know if it makes you feel good, if it makes you smile when you say it, or it cringes when you say it, then you need to rethink. But put some thought into having those intentional words with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Love my affirmations. So Leslie, what about, as we've got a few minutes here before we wrap up, outside of business, I know a lot about you personally, but I would love for you to share with our listeners today what's important to you outside of business. Why do you come to work every day to do what you do, to live the life that you want to live? What is that?
Well, I got super lucky the second time around in marriage. So one of my huge importances of personal life is spending time with my husband outside of work. Because we do work together, you actually have to make that a huge priority. And one of the reasons that we moved here is because of the lifestyle that we want to have. And so we actually do some videos hiking and really speaking to sellers and buyers about why lifestyle is so important, and so that it's worth something. When you're pricing a house, it really matters how you're going to live there. So we just spend a lot of time outdoors. We actually take Mondays off, except for right now.
Except for the special for Coffee with the Superstar. Thank you, Leslie. And she dressed up for it and everything. Exactly. She's got her hiking gear in the closet over there.
That's awesome. No, so we call it McFadden Mondays, and it's just a purposeful, it's kind of like an affirmation. We say it that way because we're reminding ourselves that we want to spend time together outside of work. So that's one of the things that we're working on with the life balance. And moving here from the Midwest, obviously our sales prices are different. And so I wanted to kind of view that as a promotion and not, I know a lot of people are like, I need to have as many transactions as possible. And I'm like, okay, whoa, I don't know if I ever want to have 49 transactions again. That definitely was not work-life balance. So my goal is always around 20 to 25 transactions a year, and just to really enjoy this beautiful place that we live.
Yeah, and I love that. And I never know what my superstars' answers are going to be. I just give them the questions, and we show up and we have a casual conversation around the questions and your answers. But I was really hoping that you would say that. And if you weren't, I was going to ask you about it, because I know Leslie, and I love the fact that they love nature and they embrace that, because that is the perfect balance. And you're doing it with your husband, and you guys have such a beautiful relationship and a beautiful marriage. But I also loved the way she had set up and mentioned, this is what business is about. You can live the life that you want to live and bring your business into it at the same time. Leslie's a real estate agent. She is passionate about the area that they live in. They moved here because of this area and that opportunity. And so if you heard what she was saying, she's already talked about video and the importance of that. She uses this and she's sharing what she's doing personally out in this beautiful area that she's helping people buy real estate in. And I just think it's a beautiful thing. And that's what I hope that you could take away from that is, what are you passionate about personally? And how can you tie that into business? Because the reality, especially with real estate agents, even more than any other industry, is your clients are expecting more of that friendship connection with you, because that's the type of business that you're in.
And I think you as a realtor should expect that from your clients.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, just turn that around, because it's not always about what that person needs or wants. It's you enjoying your job. So if you're not naturally becoming acquaintances and friends with your clients, then you're maybe doing something wrong. Because I think we're all here to enjoy each other, and people want to do business with people they like and trust.
Exactly. And you're bringing in and you're showing behind the scenes of what you like to do, and it's showing a benefit as well of the beautiful area that they're going to be buying it. Yeah, I love it. Well, Leslie, thank you so much for joining me this morning for Coffee with a Superstar. Again, thank you for being a great real estate partner and supporting my business. And for those of you that don't, I'll do a little shout out for my mortgage business. I am your local mortgage expert, and I'm always looking for great partnerships like my dear partner and friend here, Leslie. So think about myself and my amazing team when you need great mortgage service. And Leslie, I appreciate you just being so open and inspiring and motivating our agents that are listening today to take their business to the next level.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And thank you for listening. We'll be here same time but new location next Monday for Coffee with a Superstar. Enjoy the rest of your day and make it an inspiring one.